driving in Chiang Mai, Thailand again today. It's a beautiful day. Just went for some coffee with a buddy. Today I want to talk about, is Thailand safe to drive in, or to ride in? I guess drive or ride. That question could be answered a multitude of different ways. Let me just start off with some numbers, yeah? So, every day there's 37 motorcycle related deaths in Thailand. Alright? Now there's also 87 million people who live in this country, for perspective, so about 2.5 times the size of Canada in population, or about 1/4 of the US. 60% or so of the vehicles here are motorcycles, so you want to consider that, and a lot of people don't wear helmets. So I think at least if you're wearing a helmet and you're fairly conscious of your driving decisions and your awareness, your environmental awareness, you'll probably get by pretty fine. Also, people here aren't very well trained. You can kind of just go and take a 2-hour course and get your license. You gotta get your license to train how to drive, right? Rather than like Canada, where you have to like train before you get your license, or at least before you get your full license. So like you just go in, you get your license, and then you gotta train. So you're just like a driver like everybody else at that point. And obviously it's not a very well regulated country. It's not a very well regulated country. Laws aren't really enforced, of the ones that even exist. And I mean, that's a big reason why it's nice, because you can speed around and you don't get like dumb traffic infractions for specific things. Yeah, so that's something to be aware of. I think if you're hyper aware, it's not that bad. If you can wear your gear, that's great. If not, at least wear a freaking helmet, man. Some things to watch out for, I would say, in Thailand are the U-turns when you're on the highways. U-turns can be a little bit sketchy at first. If you're coming up to them with some speed and you're worried about the person crawling out, flash your high beams. You can also do something like this that kind of like warns people a little bit. I think Dan the fireman mentioned that in some of his videos. I'll leave his link in the description. He's got a lot of safety videos. Obviously he's a first responder from the United States. You know, he was a fireman and he's a motorcycle rider, so he's seen a lot of the stuff you don't want to see. Some brutal carnage. And he has good tips, and they apply, you know, worldwide. You know, being the most accountable person on the road, ensuring that, you know, like, just expecting that the worst can happen, and, you know, expecting that people won't always follow rules, and anticipating their next moves is a big thing. Another thing would be the dogs here. Watch out for dogs, especially on smaller roads, the really narrow roads. A lot of dogs. So watch out for them, because they'll just jump out in front of you, and then you will crash. It's my buddy there. Let's catch up to him. So yeah, they won't crash. You will crash into the dog, and yeah, I've seen some pretty bad videos of that. It is gnarly. But yeah, wear your helmet. And wear your helmet, be hyper aware, and be accountable. I think that's really what it comes down to. Yeah, just look out for things, anticipate for other people's moves. Watch out for the dogs, watch out for the U-turns. And if you're from a country that doesn't do lane filtering, or like things like this, like, then just be careful when you do it, because you got to get used to it first, right? I think lane filtering is more safe for motorcyclists, because you can kind of get out of the way of traffic. You won't get crushed in between traffic, and you can get out of the pollution and stuff. If anything, I think it should be something that's legal in Canada, because it would almost incentivize people to use it. They care so much about the climate, right? So that would be a good reason to incentivize motorcyclists. But generally speaking, I feel like it's pretty safe here, especially if you come from a background of good training. Again, always expect that people aren't very well trained here, even in your home country, and that people won't always obey the rules. People will make mistakes, generally more here. Another thing to watch out for is when people come out of these like left, these little roads on the left, I should say, a lot of times they don't stop. They just kind of just roll through, like a rolling stop. But sometimes I've seen them come out like all the way halfway, or sometimes not even look. I see sometimes motorcyclists or cars just kind of cut across 3 lanes of traffic with apparently not looking in their mirrors. So that's something to watch out for. Again, just always be hyper aware. And I think that goes to Stan too. Like when I found that when I started driving here and I went back into Canada, I was way more calm and patient of a driver. You know, I could see what was going to happen. You know, like Dan Environment says, man, if you go to an intersection, always be in red zone, man. Always expect that something's going to happen. Be hovering your brakes. Get ready to slow down or stop if you need to, or to get into another lane position. All those kinds of things. You apply that and you're just really careful here, and you go back home to, like, let's say North America, Europe, you're probably a lot more calmer of a driver. So generally speaking, if you can ride safe, it is a fairly safe place. And a big part of that, of driving safe, is just being hyper aware of what others are doing. It's pretty easy to drive. What's more challenging is anticipating the moves of others and mitigating particular scenarios, and understanding which scenarios that you should be able to mitigate if they were to happen. So yeah, these U-turns here, you want to always watch out for those, because some people will just go, they can't anticipate your speed, you know. You just got to watch out for that. Just got to watch it. And then again, like when I drive, like I try to stay usually in like lane position 3 if I'm in the left lane, or lane position 1 if I'm in the right lane. Obviously, I can't anticipate that guy's move, so I'm going to stay over in lane position 1 right now, get back into 3, and I'm going to stay in 3 because this guy's pulling out. Going to go back into 1 on this lane. You see what I mean? You got to kind of anticipate things. This guy is going to complete into my lane here. Oh, he's going to continue over. Okay, we're good. You just got to, like, you know, you got to anticipate what people are going to do before they even do it. You know, this guy could just like pull out, so I'm not going to go in his lane. Let him go. You know, there's all these kinds of things, but if you watch out for those things, I think Thailand's a pretty safe place. Yes, it's a little bit less regulated, so it's maybe a little bit less safe, but if you keep yourself safe because you keep yourself accountable by realizing that people might not always follow the law, people might not always do exactly what you're thinking, but you should think about what they might do, and that the worst could always happen. So, you know, whatever can go wrong will go wrong. Yeah, kind of keep that mentality. To an extent, obviously, have fun with it, but yeah, that's kind of my general mindset, is that it's not that bad. It really isn't. I mean, I learned how to ride here essentially, and then I rode in Canada too, and you have just so much more freedom here, man. Like you can lane filter at lights, you know, kind of get in front of all the traffic, because your bike obviously just kind of accelerates quicker than a car. Even if you're not trying to race, you're just trying to launch comfortably, it just accelerates quicker, right? Technically speaking, and you're out of all of the dangers of being crushed. Well, not all of them, but most of them, and you're out of the center of pollution and whatnot, you know. So yeah, that's kind of my thinking. So, I think that Thailand is a pretty safe place. What do you guys think? Is there anything in particular that you think is unsafe, or that you wouldn't want to ride here because of that? Or have you rid here? Let me know in the comments below, and please like and subscribe if you like this kind of content, so I know to make a little bit more. Anyways, have an awesome day, and ride safe, guys. Ride safe. Be accountable. See ya.